Joshua, quit tapping. I can't even begin to guess how many times I've heard that throughout the years. I'm a drummer, so whether it be a song stuck in my head or a phrase that I'm practicing, I'm constantly tapping on something. And more often than not, annoying everyone around me while I do it. But sometimes my tapping wasn't musical, nor was it rooted in inspiration. And often I didn't even know I was doing it. And that was when I was anxious. I wasn't diagnosed with depression and anxiety until later in life, but after doing research over the years and looking back, I can see the signs. There are so many people that are dealing with these mental health issues, and we would never know it, and that includes the youth in their formative years. In this speech, I would like to discuss the more common forms of mental health issues, how they affect these youth academically, and some strategies or accommodations we can use to help them. Let's begin with the more common forms. There are many types of mental health issues or disorders, but the World Health Organization says that depression, anxiety, and ADHD are the most common, especially in young people. Depression can affect every aspect of a person's life. It's characterized by overwhelming feelings of sadness. It clouds your perception of reality, and it can even affect you physically, such as tasks such as self-care or even getting out of bed feel impossible. Anxiety is similar to fear, but more broad. Fear is more here and now and specific, while anxiety could include an array of fears over a longer period of time. The American Psychological Association defines anxiety as an emotion of tension, worry, and like depression, it can also affect us physically, such as raising our blood pressure. ADHD is very common in young people, with the CDC reporting that 7 million people ages 3 to 17 were diagnosed with ADHD in 2022. Its main characteristics are the inability to pay attention and the lack of self-control. Now that we know about the more common forms, let's discuss how they affect the youth academically. With depression, the symptoms can be so severe that it feels like you're literally drained of energy. And it can anchor you to your bed, which would cause you to skip class or just not show up to school at all, which could lead to truancy issues. With anxiety, kids have problems processing information. You could be talking to them face to face, but they're dealing with their own fears, a multitude of fears, a storm of fears. And with ADHD, they just have trouble staying on topic or on task, as their mind is full of a million different thoughts and ideas, and they're easily distracted. Now let's discuss some strategies or accommodations that we can use to help these children succeed. Depression is tricky, as the more appropriate care would be provided by a licensed therapist. But teachers can do their part by watching for signs and reporting them to either a school counselor or their parents, or anyone who can get the ball rolling for that child to receive the help that they need. An effective strategy to help children with anxiety is keeping a structure in the classroom. A solid structure will help keep the child on task and prevent them from being frightened by change, so they'll feel more safe in the environment. And with ADHD, a patient but firm guiding hand to keep them in line and on task would be very beneficial, as they may wander off mentally, but if you can just reel them back in and remind them of what needs to be done, they'll have a better chance at succeeding. In conclusion, we learned about the most common forms of mental health issues, how they affect